And oh, by the way, Jim Riley, Joe Zilla, Gary Race, Bernard LaChance, DJ Dave, Perlita Quinn 1, Elton Anderson, Don Riley, 1961 Amphibious Spaceman, Bitted Bat 4, Blue Boy Boxes, Robo Rapist Knight, Red Randy, Red Gordon and Ellery, Jim Hall, Bill Duvall, Doug King, so on and so forth. Joe, Bernard, when you run torture and mutilation multiple times in a row to get a confession and you get off on it, even if you're a cop, and this is how you help other cops out and military members out, Bernard, because they actually, they get to learn something about the group of you and what you do. When you do it multiple times and you get off on it, Bernard, Harry, that means you're a prison fag, that you're entertained by it. So the group of you actually help other cops become smarter than those of you who profess to be cops and rerun torture multiple times in a row. And then those cops that actually become smarter and, military, actually find out that you like to be a prison fag, Bernard, and did it on purpose, Perlita. Understand? Because you get it off and used it as an entertainment tool instead of actually getting something really done. And then it turns into a made-up story, like I said, all this crap. So then they find out, like Bernard, that, Joe and them were really, just like being prison fags, and that's what you guys did it for, is to actually just force people and boys to sleep with you all, the Beaded Bat for, to be prison fag. Not to really do anything effective, but, be a fag. And that's why, you're in a prison, Bernard, because even then, things get to be pushed to the point where it's like ridiculously stupid, and then people find out that you wanted to live in a pile of shit and you made up stories and you made events happen so you could steal shit, Bernard, and then wield it to your own way down on the ranch or whatever with your hillbillies. And so when you guys didn't know how to use it when you stole it, guess what? It put you in a prison, Bernard, because those families and stuff found out. And then they found out you guys like to take and torture people's kids to figure out how to use it, and so you could be prison fag. So guess what, Bernard? We've done this before a billion times, Brian, me, and some of these people, and you're a fucking faggot prisoner. Because you like it. Because you wanted to be a fag, Bernard. Understand? It's not hard to get it. But you're still being rejected like Ellery was rejected, and, there is no rewind. They weren't gay, they weren't carny, whatever. But see, we have to deal with dumbasses on the earth like you, Bernard, Harry, Jay, not Jay, but, Joe. Point is, you wanted to rape boys, Bernard, Ellery roll in your little scheme there with Dave, and guess what? The fans who like you, Bernard, you guys, Perlita and Bernard still must be jealous of the American Idol girls. So they, your fan base, Bernard, mimics your behavior, like the gangs and all that. And so guess what? They find out, even police officers, that Bernard LaChance and, Harry and Joe and all them like to be prison fag instead of really do their real job. And so that's what you get for your award, Bernard and Perlita, because it looks like you're just so, desperately obsessed for your performance to work that you'll do anything with your hillbilly team. And so they watch you march hillbilly squads around and, football and all that stuff. But guess what? They ultimately find out that the group of you turn into wanting to be prison fag. And so, like I said, the smart military people and the police officers of the world and firefighters who want to do better, who don't want to get involved with the organized crime, Bernard, they use this to find out, they're better than that, so they don't have to, do what you tell them, Bernard LaFag, Ellery, Jay, Dave, Roble Knight. Understand? Because when you torture and use it for an entertainment means more than, multiple times and totally ignore what other people have to say, Bernard, well, guess what? They find out you like to be a prison fag and that you put yourself in a prison on purpose so you can be a prison fag and sleep with other people's wives and daughters and be nasty. And that's what you got, Bernard, because people start to figure that out. And, people get sick of it and move on. And that's why some people use this, because, they don't want their kids to be prison fag, Bernard. So they educate them here for a little bit and then they move them out, It's not really that hard. They indicate the freedom train. Some people do it the real way. Some of you just, sit around and do nothing. So, so those of you who want to remain, they're giving you what you want. Bernard, eventually, it might be a few years or so, but, 20, 30, 50 years, But you'll be prison fag because we'll know where to find the group of, people who created their prison fag prison. And guess what? A lot of you'll be sick and all that still because you won't take care of the things you need to do or whatever. But, that's the way the Bernard and Ellery life is of the bees and the boxes. So why would they upgrade their standard of living when the Carney never took care of themselves in the first place, right, Bernard? That's the ideal you all started out with as Christians. So, they mimic that behavior, Bernard. And so you get homeless and all this other stuff, and they come to follow you like the hippies, because of Dave. Dave made it supposedly easy, and then he supposedly changed and grew up. But see, ultimately, Dave, since you guys used torture and you mutilated people's faces and all that, they, find out that you were always wanted to be a prison fag with your supposed cop daddy. But your cop daddy, Dave, he was a rapist. So people mimic that because they found out he was full of shit a long time ago.